Hello and welcome to Sevlievo in Bulgaria for the first race. It's round 2 for the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship riders. I'm Paul Mellon, alongside me Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com. We've just seen a great MX2 first race. Look at that, temperature rising another 4 or 5 degrees to 20 degrees here. So completely different conditions to what we had yesterday for all the qualifying races. But Bulgaria is where we are then for the second FIM round, about 2 hours drive from Sofia. Last year's winner in Moto #1, Stephen Frossard, not going to be competing here this weekend after it wasn't even a crash yesterday in the qualifying race. Of course, we'll talk more about that in a moment with Adam Wheeler, but disappointed not to see Stephen Frossard on the grid. So it's going to be the likes of Cairoli, DeSalle, Gauthier Paul and Kevin Strybus, Kenderdijker and the rest who are looking at going for the championship, or certainly the overall Grand Prix victory here this weekend. We'll go down and talk to the riders in a moment with Amy Dargan down on the grid, and when we come back from that, we will speak with Adam Wheeler in more detail about Stephen Frossard. But in case you're joining us for the first time, that's a quick look at the circuit, just under 1,700 metres long. It's hard, it's fast, it's dry, it's bumpy as well because of the weather conditions we had yesterday. And of course, they keep watering that circuit as well. But either way, we've got a good crowd here this weekend, and they're looking forward to more racing here. We've just seen MX2 race 1. They're getting ready for MX1 race 1 as well. Well, Amy's about ready. She's down on the start line. Let's hear who she has with her.
Down on the start line here at Sevlievo for the first MX1 race. Joining me now is Gauthier Pauling. Gauthier, you've had a great start to your MX1 campaign. Are you happy?
Yeah, really happy. It's only the start of the season. We are riding on a great track, you know. This track in Sevlievo, it's really cool. We got the sun with us, and I'm feeling really good with the bike, but still I want to get as really no risk, you know, just to be riding, having fun, like when I'm training, and if I'm doing that, for sure I'm going to be on the front, so looking forward to do that. And like I say, it's only the start of the championship, so want to have fun. Good luck with this race.
Okay, we're going to move down the start line now and grab a quick word with David. David has always had a good race here in Sevlievo. He's always had a great race here in Sevlievo. He's always taken a few race podiums. David, this has usually been a good race, a track for you in the past. You've always taken race podiums. How are you feeling going into this race?
Yeah, I feel good, but the track is too fast and no money line, just one. And the best is a good start, but yesterday I start 20 and I finished 7. But today we see better in the start, and we'll see what happens in the race, because the track is very fast and hard, so it's difficult, but we tried my best.
Thank you. Okay, we're also going to grab a quick word with Sean. Now, I was having a word with Sean on Friday, and you were hoping for a bit of rain. You kind of got the opposite.
Well, yesterday there was a slight drop which slowed things down, but you know, I'm enjoying the track anyway. It's a good track. Everyone seems to be going roughly the same speed, so start's going to be key. Looking forward to it anyway, and it's a tough race, so let's get stuck in.
And what are your hopes of this race? Where are you going to aiming for?
I think I said at the start of the year, if I was top 10 in every race or every round, I'd be happy with that. Come out of Valkenswaard in 8th, so be looking to do something similar here today. Anything better as a bonus.
Thank you. Now, before we head to the race, we are going to take a look behind the scenes at Plant KTM UK. We caught up with all the guys there yesterday.
Team now for a number of years. What is it about motocross that attracts you to it?
Mainly it's the connection that the sport has with our customers. We find a lot of our customers and users of construction equipment are in motocross. And we started off as a small way with Roger quite a number of years ago. We slowly built our involvement up to the stage where we are now, where it's KTM. We've got riders in each of the classes, which is good. So you have James Dunn in the 125, first round here this weekend. Kevin Strybus in the MX1, which hopefully will be running in the top 5. Then we have Elliot Banks-Brown on the MX2. And then in the women's world championship, we have She did pretty good last
last week at Valkentorf.
Yes, we did, yes. Now, coming around and despite having a winning goal, it's been with the team.
Well, have you caught up with the rest of the team earlier? Let's see what they had to say.
2 years, and in winter I trained really hard, and now I'm working with Harry Evans now, so everything's going well at the moment, and I feel a lot better than last year, and also my head and more online and so I think it's good. I think it's a good way to come. Well, it was good, you know, I got a good grade overall, and yeah, it's a good way to start, and also with this championship I'm leading at the moment, and I feel really good also on the bike, you know. Yeah, it's really happy back here in the UK past 2 years and stuff. It's been a British championship and everything. It's been just good in that. So yeah, I just thought it's time to come back. Everyone really well, everyone's so good. Everyone on the team. We just had a few bits of bad luck here and there, but yeah, everyone's working really hard to get back where we need to be. Valkentorf, the speed is okay. The end result wasn't so good, and I was going to say that this week we have a bit of luck involved with the second half of the fight. So we've been working hard to get them together, good foundation. Hopefully we'll show passion, and experience, learning already.
Sort of it's great coming to the VPs and checking it all out and getting used to it all. And then this year the HM Plant and KTM UK have been really grateful for them for helping me this year. And hopefully it'll be a good year. And yeah, the win prize again. So it's really good.
Well, that's a quick look behind the scenes at the HM Plant KTM UK squad. My name's Paul Malin. I'm joined by Adam Wheeler. Adam, the big news of MX1 is no Stephen Frossard. You have more information on that, I guess?
Yeah, not so much, Paul, apart from you know, what we found out yesterday. Stephen went for a scan in the track, of course, with a new medical setup here, very efficient, and then went to the local hospital about 90 kilometers away, and the X-ray showed nothing broken, but there was obviously a problem. The knee was locked. It was pretty painful. So Monday morning, Stephen's going for an operation in Belgium. So, best case scenario is it's just something to do with the meniscus. It can be fixed, and then he'll be back next week for Italy.
But he was riding pretty good at that point, wasn't he? He was in a bit of a two-way battle with Evgeny Bobryshev. Depending on which way you look at it and depends who you talk to, could have been a racing incident, but one rider seemed, as in Frossard, carried good speed around the outside. Yeah. Bobrishev's line from the inside, they kind of came together and obviously jammed his knee pretty good in the side of Bobrishev's bike, but is that the case?
Yeah, I think that was a racing incident there, Paul. I mean, there's nothing Evgeny could have known about it. It was just heading for the same line. So.
Well, here we are, MX1, race one. Tony Cairoli was fastest in qualifying yesterday. He won the qualifying heat quite convincingly. 3 seconds, almost the gap between him, Gauthier Paulin and Christophe Pourcel. It's pretty much how it was all the way through that race. Clément de Sal, the only rider that really took any positions, got up to 4th place. Of course, there are others behind him, but this is moto number 1. Pourcel not getting a good jump, gets tagged by Gauthier Paulin going into turn 1, but Cairoli, wow, he's getting that thing out of the line this year, and that 350 KTM is out there in front just like it was in qualifying. De Sal in 2nd position alongside one of the Kawasaki's, Paulin, yeah, and a good recovery around the inside there from the 377.
Philippe 5th.
Christophe Pourcel in 4th place. Philippe Arts, you're right there in saying he's in that 5th place. So look at that. Pourcel at the inside of Paulin going alongside. I'll tell you what, that was pretty close on the downhill there between Clément de Sal and Christophe Pourcel. Maybe Pourcel even bounce his way into 2nd position. He has. Look at that. Good work there from the Frenchman. So Pourcel Well, he said he was bringing his A game here. He felt okay to ride, and I think in the qualifying race yesterday, Adam Wheeler, he was just happy to sit there in that third position, maybe just apply a certain amount of pressure just to keep himself in there. But he's certainly got one thing on his mind at the moment, that's going after Tony Cairoli in this first race.
Yeah, that's right. In the qualification heat yesterday, after the starts that the riders made, I think they just settled in, thought, right, 2nd to 7th, 8th position wasn't too bad for the start. And yeah, I think you'll see a bit more pressure going on in here, Paul. Certainly it's going to be decided by some mistakes later in the moto.
Just wondering how much water they may have put down as well on some of these shiny patches here. We'll soon find out in a moment. Actually, not a lot, none at all there, because you can just see the dirt just kicking up. But the two Honda riders there in the middle in the white and the red. So where are they? Down in around about 9th, 10th, 11th, something like that. But Cairoli is from Porcel. Clement de Sal 3rd. Paulin is 4th as they come over that Monster Energy tabletop jump at the bottom end of the circuit, working their way up here into the final corner. And Cairoli, well, we've normally seen it, haven't we? Never in a rush in the early part of the race, hasn't got to put in those fast laps early, takes a couple laps just to get himself going, and then he slowly winds it up. But we've seen Porcel do that. We know Gauthier Paulin can do that as well. So it's going to be an interesting first few laps of this first MX1 race, isn't it, Adam Wheeler?
Yeah, it's only the 3rd moto of the season, Paul, but you know, we're seeing a little bit of a different strategy from Tony this year. I think the bike's starting better. Christophe Porcel just trying a different line coming across there. Obviously much faster on the wider bit there, but a little bit more risky because you don't know where you're going to be positioned for the jump. Anthony Boissier, back on the TM. So yeah, you know, I think, you know, the main guy here really to keep an eye on is de Sal, because he'll be attacking Porcel. He'll want to be trying to get behind Tony and going with him.
On board with Mattis Caro down in 13th on the STR, the Steve Turner Racing KTM. See the roofs just coming up into the rider's face, and we've got a new race leader. I thought actually when they came down that straight coming out of turn 1, he was running alongside, he got the inside, and I'm guessing that Porcel found a way through on Cairoli going up the first hill. But Cairoli won't be too fussed by that, will he? He's a cool cookie, cool customer, and he'll just sit there. Obviously his main focus at the moment is going to try and keep de Sal back in check, but he, again, in the closing stage of the race, if he's 2nd or 3rd or 4th, if he needs to push them those last 10 minutes, Cairoli, we've seen him do that time and time again, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth noting, Paul, it's worth keeping an eye on Tony in the left-hand turns. It wasn't something he was broadcasting yesterday, but he did catch his knee. He raced at this GP last year injured, and he said this morning to me that it didn't feel as bad as it was last year, but, you know, I don't think he's 100%.
It was through this part of the track as well that he got caught. I did see him actually limping yesterday after the press conference, but I don't know if he's caught it again yesterday, caught another injury yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do any laps in warm-up either, so it was, you know, I think it's bothering him. I think it's worth watching out on those left-hand turns, especially up that section where he just seems to lack a little bit of bite, a little bit of confidence.
Well, coming towards the end of the official first lap, Tony Cairoli it was who led on the opening lap, but obviously, again, you need to cross the finish line twice. It sounds strange to register the first lap, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, because we got off the start and we turned right, we don't actually hit the finish line until now for that first official time. So 1:51.8 for Christophe Porcel. He has 1 3/4 seconds over Tony Cairoli. Then Clement de Sal there in 3rd. Gauthier Paulin is 4th. Xavier Bourg is 5th. So the two Fetch Kawasaki boys line astern. Philip Potts on the Monster Energy Yamaha is 6th, ahead of the two Hondas of Rui Gonçalves and Evgeny Bobryshev. Then it's Kenda Dyke and Sean Simpson in 10th. Gregory Aranda is 11th. There's Clement de Sal looking to find a way up the inside of Tony Cairoli. A little bit offline there, Cairoli. It goes wide. That's a nicer takeoff there on that right-hand side, but just a little bit tighter coming in here. But the takeoff is that all-important part.
It's not the easiest to pass here, Paul. I mean, there's no glaringly obvious parts on the track where you think, right, I'm going to line someone up. You know, this kind of de Sal here with Tony Cairoli, it'll be interesting to see where he thinks he can grab him. I think in these rollers going up the hill will be one hot spot for him.
And he'll know that as well, Clement de Sal. But when you say about, okay, I know riders can easily say it's difficult to pass, but as this track deteriorates, because we did have good rain yesterday, they'd watered the track on Friday anyway. We had rain Friday night. They keep watering the circuit. They'll water it in the hour between MX1 Race 1 and MX2 Race 2, for sure. But it's down to how you can put the power down, isn't it? Because you've got those accelerating bumps, and how you brake and how your suspension set up, that's going to be the thing in the second moto. Look at the bike working overtime there from Gauthier Paulin as he gets ready to go up
he's going
the inside. He's probably going to get through there, actually. Oh, gets his wheel tagged. That's the front brake caliper side as well. So he's got to be very careful that he hasn't lost that front brake there in that collision. But he was a brave move, though, going up the inside of Clement de Sal.
Yeah, I mean, Clement's gone from wanting to attack Cairoli to having to defend. It's I mean, it's kind of blindingly obvious, Paul, but I think these four are the protagonists in this moto. I can't see anyone really reducing the time deficit to be able to do something about these guys. And Christophe Pourcel is just vanishing at the moment. I think it must be 2.7 seconds.
Near as damn it, 3 seconds then. So then it's Cairoli, then DeSalle, Paul Bourg, Philipparts, Bobashev gone by, Gonçalves, so too is Tadika, and Gonçalves dropping down to 9th place. Aranda Simpson losing a position. Caro is 12th. Tanel Leoc, Cedric Subarat, Sebastian Pourcel is down there. Look at this, Cairoli coming under pressure now from Clement DeSalle. So whatever the incident at the top there with Clement DeSalle and Gauthier Paulin, that's certainly spurred on the Rockstar Suzuki rider, Clement DeSalle, number 25 here, as he looks to line up the 222, the defending champion, Antonio Cairoli, on that orange Red Bull Factory KTM. No problem through the right-handers for Tony Cairoli. But look what I mean about just getting the drive down. DeSalle going all the way over to the right-hand side, looking for smoother lines off the race line.
I mean, do you see many differences in this track this year, Paul? I mean, there doesn't seem to be that many. There's the big double coming downhill after the rollers, which nobody really seems to fancy.
Oh, DeSalle almost off the bike. Lost all that drive, that momentum, and Gauthier Paulin goes through. And I tell you what, it's not easy defending that third position, but Paulin is on the right line here.
No, he's going to get shut off.
DeSalle knew there as well, and well, it goes back to that corner in the opposite direction there at the top of the hill. Gauthier Paulin tried to have a go up the inside. This time he was more forceful. He wasn't less forceful there, but it was just that DeSalle had half a bike on him. But as long as DeSalle messed up that corner and couldn't get the drive, and Paulin was on the left-hand side at the end of those waves, he was always going to come out on top, barring any mistake towards the end of that wave section. But look at this, he gets on the gas here, tries to turn out early. You can see what he's trying to do.
Yeah. He's got like a square edge there out of the berm and just pitched
it. And Paulin wasn't too clever coming out of there either, but he was able just to carry that momentum around the outside.
I mean, it's a bizarre track here. I mean, there seems to be some really grippy parts and some really kind of loose and slick parts. I think, you know, for someone like Christophe Pourcel, has this little cushion now. It's more than 3 seconds now, just over. If you can be smooth and just reel off the laps, then he'll win it.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you really attack it, you really go aggressive at it, that's where you end up slipping around.
Nice line through there. Look at him coming all the way across there, out of all those braking bumps. Like you say, Alan, you know, Adam, you picked up on it a moment ago when they came out of there. He's literally landing off that tabletop and going from the outside right to the inside of that hay bale. He's got no braking bumps to deal with going in through that first little G-out section. And that's making all the difference. Ken de Dijker, number 9, 25 DeSalle. But look at Pourcel and Christophe Pourcel and Gauthier Paulin. But everybody goes wide. You watch Pourcel here. We see it time and time again. Holds it nice and tight, backs off early, and he goes from about 10th or 12th alongside everybody else to 3rd or 4th. And within the space of a lap, he was leading. So Matis Caro, STR KTM. We're on board with him. Who's he following at the moment? Sean Simpson on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Sean Simpson,
nice.
Obviously looking for rainier conditions, but how do you see his season so far? It wasn't so bad in Valkenswaard, but what were we looking for Sean Simpson? 8th in the championship at the moment.
I think it's still a little bit too early to tell, Paul. He's on his first season last year, so now he's on a new bike, new team. First time he's in the Yamaha GPs. So I think it will take him a good, 3 or 4 or 5 races to find his place. He was talking about top 10s there in the gate before the motos. So I think, that's a good benchmark for him, and then really push up from there. I mean, if anything, we've seen this from the AMA Supercross series, and here it's just injuries, attrition. It's going to be last in these 32 motos of the World Championship.
Well, we just saw a sneaky glimpse there of Gauthier Paulin jumping that big down. It was actually never a double, was it, before?
No, it was, just like a bit of a drop off it, like a step down, but it wasn't as elaborate as it is now. But
well, actually, I mean, it's just like the little step down coming out the corner, and then you went down into the gravity area, the G-out area, and then into that right-hander. So it was never ever thought as a double. But I think it was Jorge Zaragoza on the 125 in first practice who actually launched himself down there in practice. And everyone else has seen that, and Gauthier Paulin the only other rider to try it. And not sure whether it's quick or not. I spoke to him yesterday. He said it was quite a heavy landing, but he's closing in on Tony Cairoli here after, well, we've got 25 to go.
I mean, Christophe Pourcel's reading off 1 minute 51 laps. Everyone else is in the 52s, and I think it's pretty obvious to see. But I mean, Christophe, as we know, Paul is probably one of the best in the world at just finding that smooth line and just taking his time and doing his own race.
Makes him so difficult to work out, doesn't it? Because a couple of weeks ago at Valkenswaard, didn't look like he was in the mood. No points and, what, a 9th in a second moto.
I think he needed to sort the bike out between the motos last week in the same. It's the first sandy GP I think he's done, since 2006.
Yeah, good call, actually.
Or
good
2007.
Call.
So,
but it's not the first time he's ridden in sand. And if you look at your calendar and everything else like that, you say, right, there's 2 sand tracks. I'm going to do a little bit of work in at least a little bit of sand to get ready for the first round. There's Boissière TM Factory Racing, so I don't know what the problem there is. Obviously, we saw him fall, couldn't get it started, but there you go.
We're just having a look at Evgeny Bobyshev there, Paul, and he was saying yesterday that, you know, you're struggling to do more than 5 laps when the guys were testing that shower air suspension during the week. So, you know, how long is he going to be able to last? He said he was going to opt for the tablets instead of the painkilling injections. So, typical Bobby style, he's having a good go at it.
Yeah, from experience, painkilling injections are great for a short amount of time, and then when they start to wear off, which they will do 10 or 12, 15 minutes before the end of a moto, that's when you get severe problems, and you wish you'd never took it in the first place. And then guess what? You've got to do it all over again for moto number 2, and it's you know, twice as bad then. But look at this, Porcel, he was 4 seconds clear on the previous lap, 1:51.7, the fastest lap of the race. He goes through 1:51.8, and that gap has it increased. Goes, well, 4.4. And all over the back of Tony Cairoli is Gauthier Paulin on the factory Kawasaki. There's David Philippots on the monster in his Yamaha, riding number 19. Won here in 2008 in World Championship winning year with a second and a first, or a first and a second. And as Amy pointed out, since 2006, during MX2, or from MX2, he's been on the podium at least once in a race, every time here, apart from last year, of course. So he's got a good feeling about this track, hasn't he? Although he did say in the pre-grid interview, it's a little bit fast this weekend. There's Gauthier Paulin.
Everything, isn't he? He's just trying to have a look. Oh, he's done it.
Done it. And I tell you what, that was a brave move, because there was a little hook on the top of there. That could have gone either way on the takeoff there. But once he was thrown that inside, there was no way he was going to back out of that. He didn't jump across Tony's path either. He just kept it nice and tight, landed, took off middle, landed middle. And I'm sure we'll see a replay of that in a moment. But Gauthier Paulin in the mood here in that second position. And yeah, I mean, in fact, he's been pretty relaxed all weekend, hasn't he? You know, we shot some footage of him yesterday for Monster, but you know, didn't seem phased by the fact that it's round 2 or his 450 Grand Prix, and MX1 Grand Prix, or anything else. He's just in the right zone, right frame of mind, and just looking forward to going racing.
And he's the main rookie, of course, this year.
Guarneri's been off, handlebars are bent, twisted, he's gone down, and the only wet patch on the track, it would seem, on the KTM. We're going down to pit lane, and we're going down to talk to Kawasaki, I think we are.
Gauthier said earlier before the race that he really likes this track, and he certainly is showing it in race 1.
Yeah, he really likes this track. He's really comfortable on the Kawasaki in MX1. He's really glad to be in this series, and now he's going back for fight in first places.
Thank you.
Just looking at the lap times as Christophe Porcel comes over the line to go fastest again at 1:51. But look at that, responding, but not quite reducing the gap. 1:50.7, fastest lap of the race for Gauthier Paulin. I was going to say that lap, actually, lap 5 previously.
He was quicker.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Everyone putting in their fastest laps of the race. So the circuit just coming good. Tyres are warmed up, bedded in. Suspension's working great. The bodies are warm, and I'm guessing now we're going to start to see the riders pushing on to take positions. That's number 9, the Red Bull KTM of Big Ken Didaica. He's got Xavier Bourget ahead of him, and Rui Gonçalves, Bobyshev. I think that is, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Bobyshev and Didaica fighting on the track. Well, I don't think that's a battle you particularly want to be in the middle of, would it?
Not really. 2 big guys,
yeah.
The big Russian and the big Belgian. The waif of Xavier Bourg looking over his shoulder, wondering which way they're going to come from. But let's give you the rundown. 21 minutes to go. Porcel, Paulin, Cairoli, the first 3, with Clement Nassau knocking on the door in that 4th position. Then it's David Philippots, Xavier Bourg, Bobyshev, Ken Didaica here in 8th place. Got well, Rui Gonçalves was behind him, but look at that. I think we're seeing problems here for, I think that was Bobyshev, wasn't it? There.
Yeah.
And it's the right hand that he's having problems with, although it was the left hand that he took off there, off the handlebar. But as you said, Adam Wheeler, earlier on, you know, a few laps before he started having problems, and he's probably not going to be able to last the moto at this pace with these guys. It's just damage limitation for him, isn't it? Trying to pick up as many points as possible.
Yeah, and like you also said, it's an injury that requires time, nothing more. You can't do anything about it. Frossard also had like you know, a damaged finger last year, and he was wearing protection and a strap for most of the season. It's you know, a bit of a shame really for the Honda guys. Oh, just Dike again out of shape. I want to see what happens with Cairoli in this moto. I want to know if he's given all he's got to go, or in the last 10 minutes we might see him pick up the speed a little bit, because he's already got like a 3-second gap between him and Paulin to take that 2nd position. And Pourcel's responded in kind there. He's just made a 1:50 there.
Yeah, 50.9 to the 51.8. So that gap now almost 6 seconds between Christophe Pourcel and Gauthier Paulin. That's Philippe Arts just going out of view. That's Xavier Bourg. Ken de Dijker out of that left-hander being urged on by the KTM pit crew. He's in 7th position. Kenny Bobryshev 8th. Rudy Gonçalves 9th. Gregory Aranda is 10th. He was good in qualifying yesterday for a few laps and lost 4 places in 1 lap. Did Aranda on the Yamaha, but then it's Sean Simpson 11th, Cedric Soubeyrat on the HDI Honda France machine. Then Tanel Leoc, Sebastian Pourcel, Jonathan Barragan down in 15th. He'll be disappointed with that, I think. I'm not sure if he made a good start or not and is fighting through the traffic, but Kevin Strybos in 16th, head of Caro, Milko Podolzek, Matteo Bonini and Dean Ferris, back from injury, of course, his first Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I think probably finding it a little bit tough, actually, first time out.
I think it's worth flagging up Barragan because I think he was half a lap away from winning this Grand Prix a couple of years ago. He said he liked the track yesterday, but it's only...
Nice line there from Pourcel. You see that?
Yeah, it's only 3 weeks since the LS Honda guys changed their suspension setup, so he's needing more time to get it all sorted out. But he looked a little bit downcast yesterday because being Spanish like Philippe Arts, being Italian, likes these kind of hard packed tracks, these ones where you have to find the grip and you just keep it pinned.
And Pourcel, look, staying off the shiny stuff, knowing that you don't get the grip going up there potentially if he's got a soft tyre. He's not really going to get or a hard tyre. He's not going to get the benefit on the looser stuff. So he's probably gone for a softer towards intermediate tyre, doing his best to stay off the hard pack there. It looked like as well, just to use the dirt, just to allow that tyre to dig in and give him that traction. But that was a nice line at the top of the hill through that wave section. Rode around the first two. We see guys doing it, maybe not as high as that, but certainly worth keeping an eye on. But Tony Cairoli, has he responded? Has he extended that gap between himself and Clément de Sale? Is he now starting to look at closing back in on Gauthier Paulin?
Yeah, Paulin just a bit quicker again, but still 5.5 seconds to go into the leaderpool. Clément de Sale, after that wobble a while ago, is now just on a 51. Everyone else on 52s. So Clément's got Tony in his sights.
We're looking at Tony Cairoli here, championship leader. Put in a great performance, didn't he, in Valkenswaard 2 weekends ago? And from the qualifying race yesterday, you would have thought, after that whole shot at the start of this first moto, that he'd be, well, the opposite, maybe 4 or 5 seconds clear of everybody else. But I think Pourcel's maybe taken him by surprise, and certainly Gauthier Paulin. Not sure if he's going to respond or not. Like you say, he's 9 seconds down on the lead, 4 seconds down on Paulin. I'm just wondering whether that's too much of a gap to bridge or whether he's just biding his time and just taking a little bit longer. Might even be thinking, get through the Grand Prix and look forward to Fermo, which obviously he never raced there last year, Fermo.
Yeah, of course.
Well, just behind them, Clément de Sale, there at the bottom of the hill, just losing that toe. It looked like he was going after Cairoli, didn't it? Sort of lap 2, lap 3, but that challenge hasn't come from the Rockstar Energy Suzuki MX1 rider, Clément de Sale there, number 25.
We just saying, Paul, that Cairoli has never raced at Fermo in a Grand Prix. He missed the previous year with an ankle injury, I believe it was. And last year, of course, a family bereavement. So, I think we'll be looking forward to that event. Yeah, and so too will the Italian fans as well. We're getting ready to go down the pit lane. Talk to KTM. Here's Amy.
Claudio Ducali. Tony had a really good start, but he's just dropped that back a little now. Is he having some problems?
Sì, per lui questo è un Gran Premio abbastanza impegnativo perché ieri le prove era la pista un po' più, c'era più grip, oggi è molto asciutta e lui un po' fa fatica, però se continua così a noi va bene così.
So this track is not one of his favourites. It doesn't suit him so well, but Claudio is very happy with his performance and can see him still going up right up there.
Cairoli a little bit offline there coming out of that turn, but managing to hold on to that 3rd position. Clément de Sale, though.
Yeah, I really want to see de Sale get up to him, I think it would be a nice little battle, that one, because Tony's not going to want to give up the place.
Yeah, especially because Clément de Sale is, I'm not saying he's not the best sand rider in the world, but if you said to him hard pack or sand, he's definitely a hard pack rider, isn't he, coming from the south of Belgium. But, you'd want him to turn this into a nice little positive and try and put on the, get on the rear end of that KTM. But look at this, David Philippe Arts. He could be lurking dangerously, although that lap time then just lost a bit of ground. But I wouldn't rule out Philippe Arts possibly in the closing stages of the race, maybe even getting up to the rear end of both of those. Possibly, it's possible.
I'm just keeping an eye on Bobryshev as well, Paul. He's obviously lost the back of Ken de Dijker's rear wheel, but he's still staying there. So, I think that'll be, a pretty decent result in the circumstances. Top 10, 8th place.
Were you surprised that Ken de Dijker ended up where he's ended up in the last couple of weeks, riding Red Bull KTMs?
I think everybody was. I think it's something that came a little bit out of the blue. The big question now is whether, you know, how long he's going to stay on it.
Yeah,
for the first 5 GPs, we're on the second. You know, that segment takes us up until the end of the 2 flyaways in Mexico and Brazil. So what's he going to be doing come the Grand Prix of France? Is he still going to be in orange?
And I guess it all depends on the recovery of Max Nagel, doesn't it? You know, Nagel having those back problems and stuff, not ready to come back. They automatically ruled him out, did the team, of the first 5 races. But I never saw that coming between Kenda Dyker and LS Honda. I don't really know the reasons why. It was just a basic press statement that was released, you know, with immediate effect. Kenda Dyker's going to be leaving, and that's it. And, you know, joining Red Bull KTM.
Yeah, there's obviously a story behind the scenes there, Paul. But, you know, I guess he had the chance to take that KTM, and it's the only bike he hasn't ridden in GPs apart from a TM, so he went for it.
Exactly. Well, there's Gregory Aranda, number 30. He's down in 10th position at the moment. And who's he got behind him? Cedric Soubeyras. Didn't have a good qualifying yesterday, Soubeyras. I think, oh, no, it's Potterzek, wasn't it, that went down? The 2 HDI French riders, Honda French riders. But Kevin Strybos, again, didn't... Well, he started right at the back in the qualifying race yesterday, eventually came through, but he would have been looking better than 17th in his heat race. Didn't give him a good gate position, and obviously paying the consequences there, because you know what it's like here, Adam Wheeler. You get on the gas, everyone's trying to make that tight right turn there. If you brake too late, you push everybody wide. You brake too early, you get squeezed. But certainly one guy who managed to get through there no problem was a 377 Christophe Pourcel, who didn't get a good jump, take the rear wheel of Gauthier Paulin, and then he ended up coming out in prime position, really, 3rd, 4th place, and wasted no time getting to the front of the field. There's his brother, Sebastian Pourcel, riding with the unfamiliar for him, number 11. I'm guessing he's just fed up with the number 90 and the lack of luck that it brings him. He's going after Tanel Leok there, number 4 on the Suzuki, at the top of the hill.
And Leok, another rider, not quite fully fit yet. Injured his leg in pre-season races. I think he needed 3 or 4 weeks off the bike. So, you know, still struggling to get back up into full race fitness.
And at the sand, it's not really as much of a problem, is it? But when you come here to the hard pack, it's a little bit faster. If you're not 100%, you know, you're carrying a lot of speed in places. But look at that, Sebastian Pourcel up the inside.
Trying for it.
Pushes the Suzuki out, does he? No. Tanel Leok just managed to hold on, but look at that, Sean Simpson having to deal with the pressure from both these guys on the yellow Suzuki and the number 11 Kawasaki, the green machine there. Sean Simpson on that black and white Yamaha just ahead, number 24, and Simpson battling to stay on top of that 12th place at the moment.
Oh, big crash, Barragan. It's Barragan.
How did Barragan end up there?
One of the Ice One Kawasaki's there? On a Pourcel, of course.
Pourcel.
It looked like he just ran straight into him on the bikes.
And that's bike's gone bang as well by the look of it. Maybe lost the radiator cap.
Yeah. Or... Well, while that's been going on, Paul, I mean, Christophe Pourcel's now got a 9-second lead over Gauthier Paulin. So he's still nailing those 51 laps. Everyone's in the 52, 53s. And
watch this. We were just concentrating on Sean Simpson. Ah, look at that.
It's a little bit wrong. It's come up short, very slow.
Comes up the inside. Ah, gets tagged by the elbows, yeah.
Oh. Who would you say was fault there?
Well, the thing is...
I mean, Pourcel's got the racing line, hasn't he?
Pourcel had the racing line. He was looking to go through the tight line there, but what's happened here?
This is by the pits.
Tag front wheel. Oh. I see who that was, actually, but... Potterzek, 32.
Honda, yeah.
But no, unfortunately there, Barragan and Sebastian Pourcel. Pourcel didn't quite get the drive going up the hill, bounced his way into the top, was a little bit offline, wasn't as straight as he wanted to be, and obviously as he then wanted to turn, I guess the elbow was a little bit higher. Barragan, sensing maybe he was on a different line anyway, didn't realise, and then he was that close, tacked the arms, and yeah, a handful of gas and off the back of the bike. So not good news for Jonathan Barragan, I'm afraid.
No. We're not seeing very much of Christophe Pourcel, pretty much like all the rest of the riders, and it's been a strange race for him, because he went from a bad start to a good first turn to an excellent first and second lap, and now he's just gone, really. It's just on his own.
Almost 9 seconds clear. Christophe Pourcel from Gauthier Paulin over the line again now, 52.8. That's still quicker than the lap last time around by Gauthier Paulin. And Paulin is, well, 7.9, so he's managed to claw it back. But with only 10.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, you sense, Adam Wheeler, that Christophe Pourcel has this comfortably in the bag, and that Gauthier Paulin's charge isn't going to be enough. It's tenths of a second here, tenths of a second there, isn't it? Tony Cairoli is there in 3rd position. He's weathered the storm from Clement de Sal, but it looks like it might be coming back down, though.
There's a second between those two.
But we're looking at Snell Leok. He's down there in 13th, going after Simpson. On board with Mattis Caro, as he found a way through on Milko Podizek, that looks like it would have been. As we go back to Snell Leok.
We want to be seeing the other Suzuki, really.
The one closing in on the number 222.
Yeah, there's one second between there. Oh, that's not Cairoli. Between Cairoli and DeSalle for the battle for third place, and there's only less than 2 seconds between Cairoli and Paulin, so we could get a nice fight for second position.
Cedric Subarat, we just saw him, number 120 at the top of the hill. There's Sean Simpson. So Simpson down in 12th place at the moment on that Monster Energy Yamaha, second rider in shot. Top of the hill, Snell Leok still breathing all down his neck. Over on the opposite side of the circuit, I guess we're trying to pick up our race leader. That's Philipparts at the bottom of the hill on the Monster Energy Yamaha there. Paulin going through in the opposite direction. There's Clement Desau having to deal with a couple of back markers.
He's passed him, so Desau's into third place.
So I'm wondering whether we've actually got that footage out there on screen
somewhere.
somewhere.
Just going down the hill, I think. No, there he goes now. So yeah, Desau could really, second position's right there on the plate.
So doing a Cairoli then by definition in terms of Cairoli, normally the one that puts in the spurt the last 10 minutes. But
Cairoli's everywhere. Look, just again, what's that shape?
Yeah, it is very difficult to pick your line amongst these guys anyway, because you get that little area there where they just get up onto that little plateau. And it's difficult to break through there anyway. Here we go. Cairoli got fenced with the back marker. And up through the wave section.
He had it. Yeah, that's where we said, if there was a place that was a little bit dodgy for Tony, where he was missing that bit of confidence, it was there.
Then Ivo Steinberg's then on the Riga Racing Kawasaki. Oh, Cairoli did try to come back though, fair play. But he's lost that ground now. I think he's looking like he's going to content himself with that 4th place at the moment. As we said, potentially just to get through the race meeting here. He has 50 points in a championship. Clement Desau, well, he'll only pull a couple points back, but it'll be another couple if he goes after Gauthier Paulin in the remaining 8 minutes plus 2. We're talking about Clement Desau here, so potentially there'll be a few points gained here for Clement Desau, and that'll certainly tighten things up going into the second moto.
Yeah, we just need to move a little bit more forward and see what's going on for that second position. There's Desau.
Oh, it is right on the back of Paulin. So we're getting ready to go down to pit lane. We're going to talk to the Monster Energy crew, check in on the progress of David Philipparts. I guess it's normally Mino Rasmanti there, isn't it, to talk to?
Could catch Cairoli, so it's quite interesting to check him out.
Could be. Here we go, down to pit lane.
Just in the pit lane with Massimo Rasmanti. David's having a really, really strong race out there today.
Yeah, he's making good start. Yeah, in the first corner race, he had to go out a little bit too out because the other rider pushed him, but he came out 5. Still is in 5 position, very good position, because very easy to make a mistake really hard on the ground. Yeah, he had to wait some lap more and see.
And we're missing Stephen today. How is he now?
Yeah, yesterday in the race, in the qualifying races, he don't catch it, but he make really down the leg in the foot and problem the knee. And tomorrow morning he fly back in Belgium, and then we know something more.
We hope to see him soon.
Risky move there from David Philipparts around the outside of a back marker there, but managing to keep it upright. No collisions there from him, but 67 Santu Tien and back marker there, not realising it's Philipparts coming around the outside, the Ice One Kawasaki racer. Dean Ferris, though, his teammate, still hanging on for 20th position. Tough weekend for him to come back to racing. Shame, really, because Dean Ferris was looking like he was on the pace, certainly in the Spanish Championship at the start of the year. You probably know more about that anyway, living out there, but shame that he got injured.
Yeah, I mean, it was his first full season, so it was like a case of what Dean could really do, and we need some Australian presence in the World Championship, so yeah, a bit of a shame, but still plenty of races to go.
I'm impressed with Sean Simpson here. He's fending off 3 riders here. Cedric Subarat and the HDI Honda France machine there, number 120, the second rider in shot at the top of the hill here. And of course, just behind them, we've got Snell Leok and Strybos. Yellow flags
down the bottom of the hill here. See
back marker just coming around here. I think normally we would have picked up on that, but nothing for us to look at there. But there is Kevin Strybos. Kevin Strybos has done well to come through, because he's found a way past Snell Leok up into 13th place now. And he's got Subarat, who's actually been passed by Sean Simpson. So Simpson's found a way back past Sean Simpson there, look.
This is, you know, Sean was talking about this in Holland. He's having a good start of the race, a dodgy middle of the race, and then a good, strong finish to the race. So, I mean, that happened a while ago when he set a 1:55, which really wasn't good enough to be inside the top 10. But now he's picking it up again, and he's having to fight for it. And just a word about Philipparts there. He's been consistent the whole motor. That's why he's been there. He's been gaining ground slowly on the guys who have been slipping up through the back markers or making mistakes. Just keeping an eye now. And
Subaru looking down the inside of Sean Simpson, but he's not going to get through there. So 4 3/4 minutes plus 2 to go. Subaru scribbling nicely. He's got good drive on that Honda alongside Sean Simpson.
On the outside.
Going to triple his way to the outside here. Maybe even rail the bank, because Simpson's going to hold the inside, command that line as they head downhill, but not going to get through there. It's going to be Sean Simpson who's going to hold on to that position. It's Christophe Pourcel who leads by 9.2 seconds. Then we've got Gauthier Paul and Clément de Salle. They're only a couple of seconds apart. Then we've got Cairoli and Philipparts with Xavier Borg, Kenda Dykers, Evgeny Bobryshev, Rui Gonçalves and Gregory Aranda. We're on board with Kevin Strybos, who's there in 13th on the HM Plant KTM UK machine. He's got Subaru just ahead of him and Sean Simpson just a further up. So we've got a three-way battle for that 11th place. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, Christophe Pourcel on the, well, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? CP377 Monster Energy Kawasaki.
I think it'd be great just to watch him for a lap, you know, because it's, you know, it's educational. You know, just seeing him rubbing up against the banks there, just picking the easy way to do it, the easy way. I mean, he could probably do like another moto straight afterwards.
And I think his riding style's changed a little bit more being on the 450. He certainly stands up a lot more than he did on the 250 when he was world champion back in 06.
Yeah, 2006.
And yeah, it's just really, really smooth. But it's the same, isn't it? Same old thing. It's like, depends what Pourcel arrives at the circuit.
Yeah.
You know, you try and get an interview with him at the truck and trying to grab a word with him. You know, is Christophe around? No. When does he arrive? Well, we don't know. It's almost like, well, you know, when everybody else arrives, you know when JJ and all the team personnel, the riders arrive. Well, you know, we don't know if he's going to go straight to the hotel or if he's going to the track. We don't even know what time he's going to arrive in the morning.
Well, I think a great example, that was a British GP last year where he crashed on the first lap and he was already in the car, you know, out of the circuit when someone said, come back, the race has stopped, they're restarting, you know. So he went back then, I think he won it.
Yeah, well,
or he got top 3 or something.
Yeah, it was second, I think it was in the end, but
people love him for that, you know, the unpredictableness, you know, but it's, you know, it can be, it's just hard to call, isn't it? I still have him down as one of my tips for the championship this year. I think he's going to be there all year.
Right, de Salle just there on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Just ahead of him coming out of the corner, Gauthier Paulin. So this is the fight for second position in the remaining, what, 4 or 5 laps, I would say, 3 or 4 laps certainly, between these two guys. Paulin's had his second place advantage whittled down by Clément de Salle, who's just using that experience of his on these hard-packed circuits. But Gauthier Paulin, no mean slouch on hard-packed circuits either. But Clément de Salle is just, again, he's not been rushing it, has he? He's just sat there. He's ahead of Tony Cairoli, who he will think is his main challenger for the championship. Not too fussed about Christophe Pourcel.
Seb Pourcel here.
Yeah, Seb.
Yep, just back end sliding out.
And that would have been from 15th, kept it engine running. Maybe just getting a bit tired, I think.
The new part on this track, Paul, that double going down, I mean, not many people are doing it. Is that because it's sketchy, or is this not carrying any advantage into that turn?
Yeah, I think the problem is when you look at the track, you'd say, oh, yeah, it's exactly the same as last year. It's not until you actually get to the face of the jump you realise, actually, they might just ramp that takeoff up a little bit. But because you're so stuck in the... Is that de Salle? No, there's de Salle.
de Salle following Paulin.
I was just wondering what the two riders going through there, but it was the back marker there. But we'll talk about it when we get over that part of the circuit again. But it's just, I think it's the angle of the ramp, and by default you go into that inside at the top of the hill, and then you end up just taking the low line through the ski hill, setting yourself up to sweep through with more speed on the right side. But Paulin was having to go wider to do it, and had to hit it straight and get over it. But the thing is, if you jump short, it's a heavy landing, and you bounce and you can miss the turn, or you land on, you know, just on top, as we've seen Paulin do.
Paul, fastest rider on that last lap, Tony Cairoli.
And how far is he behind? Well, only a couple of seconds.
It's visual. I mean, it's we've got 2 laps left after this one, so we're looking at about another 5 minutes left in this race. I mean, a minute ago we'd have said like de Salle's going to be pushing for second place, but like Paulin's picked it up. It's kind of ebbing and throwing a little bit here towards the to and froing here. the last stages.
Well, he can see Cairoli can see Clément de Sal, but as they came over the line, it was 4 seconds, the gap between Gauthier Paulin, but look at that, he can see them all now in his sights. He's got de Sal there just ahead of him as the 222, Antonio Cairoli on that orange KTM. The yellow Suzuki for Clément de Sal is in that 3rd position, and Cairoli will at least want to get on the podium, wouldn't he, in terms of, you know, the whole sponsor thing, the interviews and all the rest of it, plus it's a couple more points grabbed back from Clément de Sal in terms of the championship, even though he had maximum points in Valkenwald. We're only talking the 2nd round here in the championship, 16 rounds this year, of course, Adam Wheeler, but is seeing a little bit of Cairoli again. That whole unpredictability. We've seen him go for a win or another position or two or whatever in the closing stage of the race, but he just looked so far out of it just 2 or 3 laps ago.
I mean, he's a triple world champion, but the easiest way to read Antonio Cairoli is if he's going fast, it's because he's having fun. He may have found some new lines, he might have found a little bit of a better feeling. Maybe that leg's not bothering him as much anymore. You don't know, but if he's going quick, that's because he's enjoying it. So. You know, how much of a motivation will Clément de Sal be there? If we were the 2nd moto, I'd say a big one. But I think he might just be doing his own lap times. And like you pointed out there, Paul said in a 150.
Fastest lap of the race.
Not a bad effort with 2 to go.
And knowing that you've got Clément de Sal and Tony Cairoli breathing down your neck. Fortunately for him, he's still 7 seconds down on our race leader.
They have a good pit boarding then by the Kawasaki crew.
Yeah, Christophe Pourcel. But look at that, 1-2. As Cairoli's back end comes a little bit too far round to the east, but. To Kawasaki's.
It's going on. Retract what I said. I think Tony's really going to go for it.
He is. But this will be good for Kawasaki, won't it? A 1-2 for those guys. I can't recall the last time we had that in MX1.
Yeah, he's right on the back of the Sal now. It's like a little bit of a different rider.
Traction, lines, everything else.
I mean, Clément, on the last lap, he did a 1:50. So, you know, that's one of his best laps of the race as well. It was the best lap of his race. So it's, you know, it's not that the Sal's slowing up.
Just Cairoli's found a good turn of speed here.
There might be another story there, Paul, like with Tommy Searle in the MX2, you know, no front brake for most of the race.
Yeah, but Clément de Sal, as you just said, fastest lap of the race. So you won't turn in the fastest lap if you were missing a vital ingredient like a front brake. So I think it's just that Cairoli has stepped it up. Gauthier Paulin, we saw, set the fastest lap of the race as well. You know, almost a second quicker than Clément de Sal.
Here's that double here, Paul. Sorry to cut you off. I mean, no one's really, you know.
And that was always the way, but they've just rounded that off slightly, ramped up the takeoff on the one coming out of the corner, but you do have to go a little bit wider in order to do it. But you saw the landing there coming down, how rutty it is and how many big braking bumps you have. So if you over jump, you're in trouble. And that is the risk you run. And that's the that's the only reason why Gauthier Paulin's probably the only one that was doing it yesterday. Not doing it a great deal now, though. The odd lap early on in the race we just saw just out the side of the camera. But this is the battle on the final lap. Clément de Sal and Tony Cairoli going after that 3rd podium spot.
Right, Paul, we've got Christophe Pourcel 6 seconds ahead. I mean, it's his, unless he drops it. You've got Paulin with a 3-second advantage. He's got the 2nd place. So we've got the battle here now. 1 second between these guys. Who's going to get it?
Well, of course, you'd like to see Clément de Sal because we were talking about him pushing and pushing and pushing, wanting to get past Tony Cairoli. But Cairoli, when he's in the mood and like I say, going fast, having fun and enjoying it, you're not going to want to put it past him, are you? And I think he's just going to steal it on.
You think he's going to steal it?
I think he's going to steal it.
I don't think he is.
I don't think Clément de Sal will let him have it too easily, though. But I think he might just steal it. But it's not going to be easy.
Well, Paulin knew these guys were behind him. He stepped up a little bit just on that last lap. It was a crucial difference. It depends whether de Sal really knows that Cairoli's that close. If he does, then I don't think he's going to do it. Cairoli, that is. So I think Clément's going to make himself very wide.
Taking the element of risk out there by going wide around the outside. Tony Cairoli not getting bounced into the corner. It's not going to do it here.
But there's not many places left. It's going to have to be down into these... down here and then through the rollers up the top.
I think it's going to be almost a last turn grab.
No.
He's going to get good drive out of here. He can run alongside. You know, look at that front wheel. Wayward. He's not going to do it now. It's game over. And he's going to take it easy through there. I think Clément de Sal may just be hanging on. But look at this guy here, 377. Christophe Pourcel on the CP377 factory Kawasaki, Monster Energy Kawasaki, rounding out the final turn, dropping downhill. And it's going to be a victory for Christophe Pourcel in this first moto here at Sevlievo, Bulgaria. He's arrived with his A game, which is good for him and Kawasaki, because look at that, a Kawasaki 1-2 for...
Kawasaki.
For Kawasaki, I was going to say Christophe Pourcel and Gauthier Paulin. Clément de Sal just hanging on to 3rd from Tony Cairoli.
No, a little handshake there, yeah.
No love lost, though, really.
And then cordial relations in 2012.
We're waiting for Philipparts. He comes over the line now, but this guy looks nice and cool. Doesn't look like he's grabbed a tear off all moto.
He's done 2 laps, hasn't he? That's all it is.
So, Christophe Pourcel then wins the first race here in MX1 at Sevlievo from Gauthier Paulin. Genny Bobryshev comes over the line. That was a hard ride for him.
Battle between the Hondas.
8th place and 9th place, edging out his teammate there, Rugon Chavez. And then, of course, Gregory Miranda will wait for him, but he should be 10th. Maybe that's him on the run down to the finish line any moment now. Yeah. And Sean Simpson, does he hold on to that 11th place? Yes, he does. And there's Strybos in 12th, Subarat 13th. So Strybos did find a way through then on Cedric Subarat. Tanel Leoc still not riding 100% fully fit, down in 14th. Sebastian Pourcel was 15th at the start of that last lap. So there he is coming down the hill. Not sure if they're back markers ahead of him. I think they are, though. But his brother at the other end of the scale, Christophe Pourcel, lighting the candles here, taking victory really, in moto number 1. Great ride, though, for Pourcel.
Just a ride in the park. That's what it was, wasn't it? It's just easy. You know, it's going to be a little bit scary for those MX2 guys now, Paul, with that watering around. There's quite a bit of dust. They'll be out there with the hose pipes. It's that first lap of MX2.
Yeah, to be honest, there isn't a lot of dust out there, to be honest. I think the conditions are perfect in terms of the amount of riders that we've got on there. But, yeah, for the second race, they will, and they always will. When you have a break of an hour, they'll put the water down early, give it a chance to soak in. So, therefore, it's not too greasy for the guys. And then that should be enough then for, you know, MX1, because there will be still plenty of damp patches going into that second race.
You know, also, Paul, I think this is the busiest GP I've seen here. We came in 2002 the first time, had a break for a couple of years. I think we've been here every year since 2006.
Yeah.
I think it's the most people I've seen on race day.
Yeah,
Bulgarians obviously no more because there was only a couple of hundred yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a good crowd today.
But no, that bank, you know, looking busy, and obviously here to come and see Petr Petrov for the MX2 rider. But let's give you the results here. It's Christophe Pourcel who wins from Gauthier Paulin, number 21. 25 of Desal was 3rd, 222 Cairoli 4th, 19 Philipparts 5th from 121 Bourg in 6th, 9 for Didika was 7th, 777 of Bobryshev was 8th, Gonçalves was 9th, and number 30 Gregory Miranda was 10th. The 24 of Sean Simpson was 11th from Kevin Strybos, 22. Subarat, the 120 was 13th. Number 4 Tanel Leoc was 14th. Number 11 was Pourcel. Sebastian in 15th place, had a number 7 Barragan, so he did stay out there in 16th place. 91 Caro was 17th, ahead of Milko Potazek, number 32, Matteo Bonini 36, and Dean Ferris 111. Guarnieri, a non-finisher. We saw him limping back towards the pits after an off-track excursion somewhere, was covered in dirt down the one side, but championship will look like this. Should still be Cairo leading, of course. So Tony Cairoli will continue to lead the championship on the Red Bull Factory KTM. He now has 68 points. Desal has 64, Paulin has 54, Didika 45, and Gonçalves on 41. Stephen Frossard obviously injured, down on 40. And then just behind those guys, the rest. But Philipparts in 9th, then Xavier Bourg in 10th. Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffRoad.com. David Philipparts now in 9th position. Had a tough off-season, didn't he? Recovering from those double arm injuries that he picked up training last year.
It was 7 months without a race, Paul, so I think, you know, it's going to take him, you know, and being in the first GP in the Sam was a tough one. You know, he's got a good track here for him. He's got a good track in 1 week in Italy. So more to come.
Okay, we're getting ready to see what happened in MX1 Race 1. Here we go, the highlights. Well, the gate dropped. It was a good jump initially for Tony Cairoli and Gauthier Paulin. And Christophe Pourcel actually got tagged going into that first turn, but he wasted no time getting up to the front. In the end, it was Desal and Gauthier Paulin who looked to be battling for that second and third place. Desal was battling with Cairoli as well, so Desal really on a charge, but losing out in the end, although he did find a way past Tony Cairoli. In the closing stages, he caught right back up to his nemesis in the on the yellow Suzuki. But up front, it was all about Christophe Pourcel. Gauthier Paulin was comfortable there in second, and all eyes were fixed on this battle in the closing stages between Clément de Sale and Antonio Cairoli for that final podium position in third place. Clément de Sale doing everything he could to try and fend off the challenge from the Italian five-time world champion, but in the end, nobody a match for the 377. Christophe Pourcel winning here the opening moto. Gauthier Paulin was second. Clément de Sale was third. Let's hear from our race winner, though, Christophe Pourcel. He's down there behind the podium, waiting to speak to our race winner. Here's Amy.
Christophe, Valkenswaard, you were not feeling so well, but it certainly seems you're back to full strength today.
Yeah, it was way better at that time because it get dry, and that's what I like. Last week I rode on my track next to my house, and it was like this, so that's what I love, and I'm born on that kind of dirt, so it's really nice to be in front again and see all you guys, and you know, just want to say thanks to Jean-Jacques Luzetti, my team manager, and I'm so happy to have my Kawasaki Monster Energy, and just super happy about the brand new team, Team CP377. So I'm really happy to put that bike on the first place today.
Well done.
New team for 2012, of course. CP, Christophe Pourcel, 377. First win for him then in the new team, and all the guys. Still CLS Kawasaki really, but obviously MX2 is Fleury. And the CLS MX1 Kawasaki squad is now CP377. But a walk in the park, as Adam Wheeler just said a moment ago. Got to the front, hard packed, slick, order of the day, up on the pegs all day long. Didn't make any mistakes and was able to romp to a very comfortable victory in the end. Second was Gauthier Paulin, making it a Kawasaki 1-2. Paulin, the factory Kawasaki rider, the official team rider. He was second. He's down there waiting to speak to Amy. Let's hear what he has to say. Here he is.
Gauthier, you said before the race you enjoy this track and it came good for you. You enjoy that race?
Yeah, I enjoy a lot that race. I had a good start then. I was fighting with Clément and Tony, and finally I get the pass, and I had some mistake. I had a bit arm pump, you know, pass to the 250 class to the 450. Sometimes when I do a mistake with the 450, it's so much power, so I still need to get used to it. And but still, you know, I really enjoy on the track. I think I can, with less mistake, I can push a bit more, and look forward to do something better for the second moto.
Thank you.
So a good ride for Gauthier Paulin. It looked for a while that he was going to follow the Kawasaki of Christophe Pourcel, maybe even challenge for the win, but in the initial stages he had his hands full with Clément de Sale and Tony Cairoli, but once he was there, he managed to edge away. Christophe Pourcel had already got just a few seconds clear. So it's just a case of settling down, keeping relaxed. It's 22 points, though. That's good for the championship for Gauthier Paulin. Arrived here fourth in the standings, of course. Now moved up a position to third. Here's Clément de Sale, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, is waiting to speak to Amy. Here he is.
Clement, well done for finishing third. Did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, it was okay. You know, the track is really fast, and then a small mistake can be a big one. So I prefer to ride with my rhythm and don't have a crash and stay on my two wheels, and that I don't have pain to me. So that's the most important, and I will do my best in second moto.
Well done.
Tough place to come here, Sevlievo, Bulgaria, just by nature of the circuit. On one hand, you've got it fast. Then the other, you've got the conditions, hard and slick, square edge bumps, big downhills, long uphills, gnarly braking bumps, big acceleration bumps as well. And while the riders might talk of the fact that it's difficult to pass, there are a lot of lines around the corners. It's just the case of choosing the best one. But he will look forward to the second race for Clément de Sale on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. And, well, it'll be interesting to see how it shapes up. Will Gauthier Paulin get a good start? Will it be him or Clément de Sale, Tony Cairoli? David Philipparts has a chance of getting on the podium as well. So we'll be looking with a keen eye on that podium in MX1. See how the story unfolds. But for now, though, it's all about Christophe Pourcel. He was victorious in Moto #1 ahead of fellow Kawasaki rider Gauthier Paulin. And, of course, Clément de Sale, who we were just watching there and listening to. Well, it's a good crowd here in Sevlievo, Bulgaria. We'll be back in about an hour's time. My name's Paul Malin. Thanks for watching.